people say, wow, that's neat, you can write these essays. And I say, well, anybody can write them. They say, no, that's actually not true. Because academics take 20 pages to clear their throats, right? And they can't get to the point, and they can't write without jargon. And I think in part they feel non-scholarly writing in these non-scholarly ways, and they feel that people won't take them seriously anymore. So there are a lot of things that feed into that.
Sure.
All having to do with socialization. And it's kind of funny because if you think of traditional conceptions of syntactic maturity, and I don't know if you ever read these T-unit studies from the 60s or whatever they were, but the idea was that mature writers write longer sentences with more embedded clauses and phrases. If you start writing for the public, what you have to learn how to do is shorten your sentences and shorten your paragraphs.
Yes.
And cut out all the big words and say things clearly and not try to sound smarter than your readers. But to kind of relearn how to communicate. It was a shift for me. And also at the same time, I had to go and keep writing the scholarly stuff. But I think that my scholarly writing got better because I started writing shorter sentences.
What is Vygotsky's theory? In simple terms. Not simplistic.
What is Vygotsky's theory? Yeah. His theory is cultural psychology, and Vygotsky always answers questions like this in a genetic way. You had, coming out of the 19th century, two currents of psychology. You had your brass instrument psychology, which was carried out in the lab and, for instance, managed to measure the time it takes for a nerve signal to get from the finger to the brain. Example. Oh, in its time, a wonderful discovery, right? That you could measure something like that. And then on the other hand, cultural psychology, as it was called in one particular variation, which developed psychology just by studying the literature and cultural life of the community. And what Vygotsky did is he brought these two together. And exactly as I explained, psychological subjects in the lab, and in between the two of them, an object taken out of the culture. And then look at how those two use this object together. So that's the germ cell of Vygotsky's psychology. Now, it develops from that because that basic idea of taking your problem and putting it into a succinct germ cell, he then applied more generally in psychology. So Vygotskyan psychology was a coming together of two streams, brass instrument and cultural psychology. And they were united in what we call cultural psychology, I do.